As a class exercise, I thought we'd work on these whiteboards that have the grid of the X and Y axis for some Chapter 3 review items. And the first thing we might look at is, suppose we had a line that, let's say, started here, went through the y-axis here, and I could draw a line, but imagine that there is a line between these 2 points, and I want to know the equation of that line. And we'll be asking you to put some points on your whiteboard that we're going to give you to work on this project. So you could put the points anywhere you want, 1 point out there, and at least 1 point on the line. So what would be the equation of that line? Well, we would use this model, y equals mx plus b, and of course this is the slope-intercept form. And as you look at the points that you've plotted, one is the y-intercept. And you might say, well, what is that? Well, that's a 2. So this line would cross the y-axis at 2, which is our b, our y-intercept. So all we're left with then is what is the slope of this line. Now, we had said that in finding the slope, if you make a little graph, as part of that graph you make a right triangle out of it, then this is the y unit part, this will be the x unit part, and we said slope was a ratio of y units over x units, or rise over run. So, what is the slope? Well, we can just count the units. Now, if we're starting up and we're going down, this becomes negative. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be a negative 4. And if we do our run, going in this direction, this is positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our slope then is going to be a ratio of a negative 4 over 5. So when we write our final equation in this form, y equals a negative 4/5 x plus 2. Now we often want to convert this into standard form. So let's write it over here. Y equals a negative 4/5 x plus 2. Now to convert it into standard form has no fractions, so we're going to multiply every term by the lowest common denominator, which is a 5. So multiplying this by 5, multiply this term by 5, and multiplying this term by 5. Now here the 5's just cancel out. So we're now left with 5y equals a negative 4x plus 10. Now we know in order to put it in standard form, we need to take our x term from this side and transpose it. When we do, we get a positive 4x on this side plus 5y equals 10. And there's our equation in standard form. There's our equation in slope-intercept form. And we got all of this just by having 2 points plotted, one being the y-intercept on this whiteboard. So we're going to have you do something like this on your whiteboard. 1 point along the y-axis, and then 1 point anywhere else, and then follow this model.